exactly.
Weird,
it's never, it's always people trying to tear you down. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Have you been accused of being racist much? Because I noticed I saw Taxstone saying it. Shout out Taxstone.
Shout out to Taxstone, man. My homie Tax, just always spreading the love out there for me.
But did he just come at you this one time or what?
Honestly, I had never heard of him prior to him like coming at me. I don't really know anything about him, if he said anything prior to that moment where he called me out or whatever. But it's been something that's been brought up recently. I'll tell you like the background story on it. I think in 2009, there's this hashtag. You know how Black Twitter makes hashtags and goes in on them. So one of the hashtags was white thoughts. So it was like Twitter going in on white thoughts, the hashtag. So
thoughts
it was like,
with a GHT.
Yeah, this was before thought was invented.
Mm-hmm.
So this was like, when I was 19 or whatever, and I must have been, I don't fucking remember, but I was bored, obviously, on Twitter, and people were going in on the hashtag, and it was like white thoughts, like, wonder if mom, I don't know, like, people just going in on like shit that white people would say or do.
Right.
So I joined in on the fun, just like all my friends. And I got on Twitter and joined in on the fun and made fun of white people. Like, it was like white thoughts. Oh, why don't these black girls like me? And then underneath it said, walks out with light skinned dude. So I was making fun of like white girls who don't understand why, there's an issue with them dating whatever. I'm so paranoid now on how I say things because it just has caused such a mess. And like, I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to offend anyone.
But you're a 19-year-old girl.
I was a 19-year-old girl going in on a hashtag with my friends.
And race is funny. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that race is funny, and everybody gets to joke around about it, but then when you're white, it's like all of a sudden
you cannot joke about it if you're white, like, period. And the thing is that the next tweet, so there was like 3 of them, right? So that was one tweet, and then another tweet was in parentheses is another example of people choosing what they want to see and hear. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what do parentheses mean? It means it's a quote. Obviously, the person who's writing what they're writing put the parentheses there to indicate that that's something somebody else said. So there was a tweet that came from my account same year that was like,
you mean quotation marks, not parentheses, right?
Yeah, sorry, in quotation marks, not parentheses. Black women don't like me because black men do. And I'm pretty sure I was quoting like an episode of the Kardashians or something, because I remember it being something that like I thought Kim said that I thought was funny, or like that I thought was ironic. Mm-hmm. And so I put it in quotation marks and tweeted it, and obviously, somebody last year must have been looking for a reason to not like me or to have people not like me, and literally dug 7 years back into my tweets. Just remember, kids listening, like, everything you put out there is out there forever.
Yeah, did they search your name and then like black?
I don't know how they found it, because I tweet so much. I have like 70,000 tweets. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing that you were able to go and find those tweets and then present them in the way where it's like the context isn't there.
Right, yeah.
You're just pulling these out of nowhere. And so, rightfully so, people saw it and got upset. Mm-hmm. If I saw that and I didn't see the other tweets or know what kind of person I am, I would probably get upset too. So, people
don't really look at the date that much.
People don't look at people weren't looking at the date. They weren't seeing the quotation marks. They weren't seeing the hashtag, the tweet before, the tweet after. And so, and I didn't really handle people's reaction the right way. Mm-hmm. I kind of got pissed off, like, yo, fuck you guys. Like, I'm not racist. Like, you guys are just like, you're hating right now,
mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of how that whole thing with tax started or whatever. But I think it's really easy to kind of be like, oh, this white girl with a butt is just out here trying to appropriate our culture or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right, but what are you doing to make money for the people in your culture, tax? Or like, what are you doing to really like raise awareness or like anything? Because I like to stay busy, but I don't like to waste my time. And I would never waste my time doing something that I'm not passionate about or that doesn't really like mean something to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm not out here doing shit for no reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could take a trip to anywhere in the world. I could go anywhere, but I want to go to this place and help out in this country. Like, I want to go to this school and put art programs in there so these kids could like record music and do these things. Like, it's not, I don't care what you think.
People shouldn't be so eager to call somebody racist when like clearly all your other actions say otherwise, and then you find one tweet that really only reveals that you are like aware of the funny aspect of like I'm really making fun of myself.
Yeah, like exactly, really. Yeah. And people didn't get that, and I was just like, all right, bro, whatever.
But they went on you for the braids too. I thought that was the funniest shit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But it's crazy, but you know what? Somebody broke it down to me, just like the Haiti situation. I was getting a lot of flack for like posting pictures when I was on my trip and whatnot. And I understand where people are coming from. Like a lot of people were like, oh, bitch, you can't wear braids, this and that. And those people obviously didn't make me feel like I couldn't wear braids. But this one girl DM'd me a video link. And it was basically a really amazing video where it was this African-American young girl that made a great, powerful poem. And she was just talking about like, look, we're not blaming you, white girls. Like, it's not your fault. But we get frowned upon when we wear braids. And this is like our heritage, our style of like that we've been, we have to, she's like, I have to braid my hair because if not, I don't like how I look. And it's in the way. I can't work as easily. Like, if I have to put a hairnet on or whatever. But then when I show up to work with braids, my job wants to tell me it's too ghetto or it doesn't look right. But you guys wear braids, and all of a sudden Kim Kardashian starts new braid trend is like all over, all over the magazines. Mm-hmm. It's really frustrating, and it pisses us. It's not fair. And that's why it can become a problem, because society makes it a problem. It's not a problem really that people that are white are rocking a certain style braid. It's a problem that society makes it okay and acceptable and fashionable for me to rock braids, right. But it's not okay and acceptable and no, you can't wear those to work for the next person.
Yeah.
So it's like, then yeah, that's a problem, and I get it, and it's frustrating, and like I'm 100% with you on that, and but at the same time, like I'm about to host this festival in this weekend, and I'm probably gonna braid my hair because I'm gonna be jumping up and down on the stage, like rocking out, sweating, and that's the best way for me to not look
There's
crazy.
Only so many things you could do with hair. I think braiding is kind of like one of the obvious ones, and hairstyles in general, I think should really just be a free-for-all.
And I also think like, you know what? I think that racism is something that could come from anybody and go any which way. Like, it's also racist to look at a person and look at the color of their skin and assume that you know how they grew up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, my mom's Colombian, and she has an afro, and she's been braiding my hair because that's how she that's how she does her hair in the summer. She's been braiding my hair every summer since I was like adopted, since I was 9 years old. So, you never really know, like, a person, it's all relative. You never know a person's situation.
And people want to assume that you're like a crazy little rich kid that has never had to go through anything or whatever, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of assumptions, and it just reminds me to try to not make assumptions about people, because we're all human, and like we probably do a lot of the same things we get mad at other people for doing. But so I just try and like take myself outside of my body and think of where a person's coming from when they say certain things and not let it upset me. But yeah, people make assumptions, but like I never had money, I just started living this way, and it's because I worked my ass off for years and got to this point, through like good gut instincts and a lot of smart decisions. So
can we talk about the fake ass allegations that you have to deal with on Twitter 24/7 or what?
Yeah, man.
That's just, people love saying that, huh?
I don't know. It's also just another thing of assuming. Like, people automatically assume I'm just full white, because I have blonde hair and white skin, but I'm Italian and Puerto Rican. And who's to say, like, a full white girl can't have an ass this big?
So you could have the N-word pass. But I'm guessing you don't exercise that much?
No, I'd never say it. Okay. Like, it's just
That's
not
problematic.
Even, yeah.
She started nodding right away, like, oh
yeah,
she's
like,
got it
nah.
if she wants it.
What'd you say?
She was just nodding. I was like, you could have an N-word pass. And she was like, yep, she could.
Yeah,
she
a lot of my friends have.
People don't know that she's Puerto Rican.
Right, yeah. I didn't know either, yeah.
And mind you, like, that's a part of slavery and all of that heritage too.
I wish
all kinds of people have been oppressed, man.
She should have had a mic.
Yeah, she should. Yeah, but it's like, a lot of races have had to go through a lot of things. This world is like however many thousands of years old. The Jews everybody's had to go through oppression, some sort. Not everybody, but most. And like, but anyways, who's to say I was fully Italian? Like, why couldn't I have a big ass that's natural? Like, are you seeing what they're putting in our food? Like, and people are evolving. Like, shit's crazy out here.
Right.
But it's just so funny to me because it's kind of like a compliment.
Right.
Like, I'm like, word, you think I paid for this? Like, that's what's up.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And I just like having fun, like jabbing back at people when they jab at me. But it's real,
Okay. No,
So.
I didn't want to get too in depth about it. I just know that there's a lot of people who question that all the time.
I did go to Dr. Miami because I was super curious, you know, like what would it be like? Like I went and Snapchatted a full day in his office.
Oh,
It
really?
was super fun.
Why?
That
Because
guy's
you
hilarious.
thought about doing it?
No, I just wanted to see what is it like to even, what's that even mean? Like to have a fake ass? Like what is it? Is it a shot? Is it like silicone? Like I wanted to know, you know. So I went over there and I was like, oh, you know, and we had a fun little consultation and I Snapchatted the whole thing and I was like, what could you do for my boobs? Like what if I wanted my butt to be lifted a little bit more and stuff? And you know, we had fun with that whole thing. But
Right.
nah, shout out to
Shout out
everybody.
fake asses for anybody who does have one. If you're watching this, I wonder if anybody is watching this who has a fake ass. If you do, leave a comment.
Yo, if my ass was fake, it would be like way more up.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't. I was gonna say you don't need that. Don't get a fake ass.
I would like,
That would
I
be-
wouldn't mind like a lift.
Okay.
You know, just because I don't have time to work out these days, so I definitely notice like a little bit of like a gravity kicking in, but we'll get there, you know.
I don't know. How does it feel having